And welcome to week number 4 of the MEA Prototype Challenge. I'm SSR Mayhem, and alongside me, my partner, SSR Bobberts, as we bring you tonight's live action here at Spa. And last week, Bobberts was a thriller, a lot of action at Indianapolis, some chaos early on in the race, some lagouts that we came across as well. But going into last week's race, we didn't know what to expect. A lot of drivers said it was tough to race on, and we watched it. It was some tough battling out there.
There was indeed. I mean, as you mentioned, the start of the race was very hectic and chaotic. I mean, we had the front two at the time, I think, which was Scottson and Jewel, just broke away from the field, and we at points we found people who started towards the back of the field, then made their way towards the front, and it did sort of level out, as the race went on. But there were a few incidents, unfortunately, a few little mishaps. But let's hope for a potentially cleaner race here at the legendary Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, in my best French accent.
We are waiting for SSR Marshmallow right now, and he's the only one that hasn't readied up just yet, so we're going to wait for him.
Oh, yes. Typically, as soon as you say that, Steve, he goes and readies up. I mean, it does look like everybody's here ready to go. We have 26 full completed laps here around the Spa circuit. Obviously, everybody sticking with their cars they've had since the start of the season in that BMW or in the Ferrari. And, talk this week, Steve, is, maybe the Ferrari could be a little bit close with fuel, but I think personally they should all make it.
And I agree with you. I think it's going to be a really interesting race today. We got a full field, so we didn't run 2 lobbies. I mean, we had a full field, but we didn't want to space out, a handful of cars, and then only in one lobby, and then 16 in the other. So we brought all the guys together into one lobby, which is something that we do here at MEA. We do have what we like to have expected for 2 lobbies, but if we can fit everybody into one, we just readjust the points as normal to what they should be, and it makes for better racing, more drivers on the track, a lot more fun. Granted, it gives you a little bit more to work with, and it's a little bit tough, but it should be an interesting race today, and I'm excited. I love having these big fields of Bobberts. We love to have the numbers here at MEA, but when you can get a full 20-something car field or close to it, that's always fun to have.
I mean, more cars generally means more action. More action sometimes means more incidents. But who's to say they don't love to see an incident happening sometimes? I mean, we don't obviously like to see collisions, and ruining people's races, but it adds a bit more spice, I think, to the races. And yes, we have 90 drivers here tonight, all battling to finish at number 1 spot, but who can take it away from our pulses and current champion, ESV Scottson?
Well, we can go through the field right now. It's a big track, so I have a little bit more time to speak for everybody here. So let's get to it. Starting on the front row, and the number 2 Ferrari is ESV Scottson. I'm sorry, I butchered that there real quick. He was last week's winner. He has 2 wins on the season, 4th year road, but the only other driver to have a win on this season. Back at week number 2 at Daytona, who's not with us here tonight, unfortunately. He had a disconnect last week. Expected to come back next week, but unfortunate to see him not here today. And starting alongside Scottson, RDE Chad with number 46 Ferrari as well. He had a great race last week, finishing 3rd. A guy that we didn't see last week, who's missed only 1 race this season. I believe SSR Fun for Us looks to make his appearance once again in that number 11 BMW. We didn't see a lot of BMWs the last couple of weeks making it to the A lobby, but it's really going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Alongside him, MRT Joel driving the 697 from Ferrari. He had a good race last week, got out of that big commotion in the race, Bobbers, and then ended up finishing a solid 2nd place. When we talked about having that incident last week, a lot of craziness, which gave Scottson and Joel a chance to run away from the field. It made everybody else chase him. In the 3rd row, the 32 machine of MRT Ballistic, rookie of the year so far, looking to make his presence known once again. Right alongside him, AMSB Shadow, the number 7 Ferrari. In 7th will be MEX Zeratarp in the BMW number 90 machine. Alongside him in 8th, MRT Truth, the number 44 Ferrari behind him. In the 9th position will be the number 59 time machine with PPS Cyber Waste. Alongside him in the 10th position will be Diamond Man in the number 15 car. Right next is CJ Pert. Number 19, 12th will be WRT Merciful in the number 346 machine. 13th starting is SSR Starlord in the number 23 car Ferrari. Behind him, MRT Turtle in the number 72 machine. SSR Envy making his first A-Lobby appearance this season in the number 416 machine. SSR Marshall, the defending champion, did not qualify, starting tail of the field in that number 1 machine. EBR PK, MRT Elgard, and Surf V starts out the field. And let's get up to speed here. And a really, really rough start for some of these guys because, you know, we talked about having these starts at the beginning of races because it's just hard to get off that corner there. So it was a little spaced out for some of these guys, and unfortunately that's...
Yeah, I was just going to say, sorry, Stevie, the top 14 all seem to get in line, but from Envy downwards, these teams just tail off a little bit, so they've got work to do, and someone has already gone up Port Rouge. And at the top of the podium, have they? Yep, somebody has, and it looks like that is Merciful, who's already got a lot of work to do. Has he got damage? I'm going to guess yes. And the answer is yes, he has a lot of work to damage today. It's Merciful, unfortunately, after 3 corners in, going to be at the back of the field.
And we're going to go up to the front of the pack right there. And that's unfortunate. You know, it's hard to really judge these starts. And I know, Bobbert, you were in the GT series. And just to get lined up and get everybody on board, how important is if you are the guys in the back to make sure you're right there coming off that final corner, depending on the type of track?
Well, I mean, especially at this circuit here at Spa, you know, you come out of the bus stop chicane, it's a very short run down towards the start of finish straight. Maybe the leaders could have gone a little bit slower, but if they were going to the pace that they should have been doing, which I would have thought they would be, then you can't really say they did much wrong, and it's just, you know, it's unfortunate, you know, for some of them at the back to have to have caught up. I mean, they have caught up to the back of the field now, so it doesn't seem to have lost anything, apart from obviously, unfortunately, Merciful, and actually, MRT Truth is in that 18th place now, so I think he started within the top 10, so I wonder if he's got a bit of damage or something that's happened. No damage to report, but not a good start for Truth, all for Merciful, as Scott's in still currently leads the way, but Gano, at this moment in time, nobody but one full complete lap is still there with him.
And we got a battle for the 14th position right now with MRT Turtle PK, Surf V, and MRT Elgard all back there battling it out right now. And it looks like we might have lost a driver early in this race.
I'm probably going to guess it's Merciful.
I'm going to take a guess here and say it's Merciful too, probably, unfortunately. I'm not sure yet.
Yes, it is.
And it's Merciful. Merciful out after hitting good old Rouge real hard. And very unfortunate.
Well,
we always want people to finish out these races the best they can, and I'm sure in that circumstance, being the only driver that had any issues in the first lap before, I think, you know what, just pack it up, go home, send it to the garage, we'll just try next week. So unfortunate to see Merciful, the 346 machine, pull out early.
Yes, it is a bit of a shame, and, you know, he did qualify in that midfield. You know, that's the problem, you know, you're in the midfield, you try to avoid people around you. Obviously, we didn't see what might happen to Merciful, but as you said, it is unfortunate. That is one driver, unfortunately, down already. Still got 18 here, currently still going. With Scott's in and Chicago, your top 2. Jules naturally overtaken Thunderous for that third place that happened first lap. And the same with B Shadow and Ballistic. They have swapped places for that 5th and 6th place. Actually, I think looking at it, the biggest Cyber Quiz is getting 2 places. CJ Pert has gained 3 places after start. SSR Marshmallow, the biggest gainer so far, started, I think it was 17th.
He was about, I think he was 17th. About 15th, 16th where he started off at right now. He's currently battling.
He's already in the top 10. He's already in the top 10, and he's pulling away from Starlord and Z-Tara. So it's been a decent start for Marshmallow. He's going to keep this going though. He's going to, you know, contest with some big points as Diamond Man and CJ Pert going side by side to the bus stop as once again forces leg screening.
Hopefully that wasn't a disconnect, because you know how the disconnect history is with sports and motorsports, and it's something we would hate to see here. It looks like everybody's running good so far though. Not a whole lot of chaos early on. It looks like, yeah, everyone's okay, so it was just a fourth issue, so that's good to see. And Marshmallow is looking to to get inside the top 10, not just on the top 10, as he's going to work now on SSR CJ Pert, his teammate in Diamond Man 2014. Marshmallow able to hold on to the car for Rouge. He almost lost it there, Bob.
Scary moment. That was a scary moment for him. I bet he booed his pants. I can probably put money on it. The reason, by the way, Steve, that we had that little glitch then was Elgard actually. I think he might have had a time delay or something, because he's now all the way at the back, way off the back from 17th place, which is MRT Drew. So I think Elgard may have had a screen freeze as to why he's now so far behind. But one thing that I can say for certain. Where's Scott's in 7th place?
Scottson must have had a mistake.
I missed this. Is that damage? No damage. I wonder if he had a moment. He's not damage to report, but I wonder if he's had a moment. I guess he had a moment for Eau Rouge, but, well, Scottson has got some work to do now to catch him out to the front, which is obviously the new leader now being RDE Chasmo. Chasmo has a bit of a gap over NRT Jewel, who in turn is pulling away from what is now a 3-car battle for the final podium pay position.
And Chasmo, this is a great opportunity for Chasmo because he's in the points race right now, and having Scottson so far behind, this gives him an opportunity to take off and possibly get a nice win here today. But it is a long race, and Scottson's one of the best. So we're going to see how Scottson responds to this. Now, this is also a big game for the guy in 9th place, and the defending champion, SSR Marshmallow, who did not qualify for this race. He's moved up all the way to 9th so far in this race. He's gone around CJ Pert now, and he's now going to work on Diamond Man. So this is what you want to see if you're Marshmallow. You know that Europa's not here today, who also did not qualify, so he will not get any points for this week. But having Scottson up front early in this race, Scottson starting on the pool and Marshmallow all the way back to the 15th, 16th starting spot. This is something we got to keep an eye on here, because now he's 2 positions behind Scottson. And Scottson, I don't know what happened to him. I was on mid-pack when that all happened, but he's got some work to do.
He does indeed, and he's already trying to start that work now onto the back of PPS Sideways, who's had a good start himself. He started in the 9th spot, and he's up into 6th, so he's had a good start at Sideways, but Scottson looks like he's going to try and eye him up. He's going down the run towards Puon, but I don't think that's quite going to work for him, and has a little bit of a twitch, actually. Sideways running a little bit wide as they come into, well, it's not technically a chicane, but may as well be a chicane, and it looks like Sideways is going to hang on for the time being, as behind the Marshmallow is still trying to close in on Diamond Man. Looks like he's gained a little bit on this lap, as he says his 2 teammates occupying 10th and 11th.
Scottson getting the 6th position. Cyberways let him go on by there as they were getting around those right-hand turns. That right bender right there. As Scottson now moves up to the 6th position. As we pull up the race map, you can see where the cars are on the track. MRT Elgard way back there in 18th right now. Let's see, did he hit? No, he must have had something happen during his run. Surf V's moved up to 15th. Just trying to check out all the big movers in this race so far. His first week here. SSR Envy moved up a couple of positions as well. I believe Envy actually started 15th. So he's currently running 13th right now in that BMW. Let's see who else can we pull out here.
Oh! Marshmallow getting late on the brakes. He hits the back of Diamond Man. No damage to Diamond Man, but Marshmallow, all that time he just gained, he's now lost, and he's got his 2 teammates now right behind him again.
And you gotta think, someone's getting loose! Star-Lord almost losing the car, was able to hang on to it. Retard got a big run on him as they go into the turn. Star-Lord almost losing it up Old Rouge there, side by side as they go into the mini chicane. And was able to hold on to the spot bobbers, but what a scary moment for Star-Lord as he almost lost the car going up Old Rouge.
Another person clearly who's now going to have to change his pants after this race. Oh god, I'm going to stop doing that, I think. But I'm just currently checking in on Scottson at the moment. He's already distanced himself to Cyberways, and he's now closing in on what is, he will make a battle for what will be 2nd to 6th place, so he'll join in this 4 to make it a 5-way battle. as Chasmo actually doesn't seem to be distancing himself. Oh, as Ballistic goes wide, going through curve of Monterey, and round the outside goes Scottson, says thank you very much, I will take some of that, and that's him back into the top 5.
And Ballistic, the rookie this year, his first league race, first time driving for MRT. I know we brought it up in weeks past, but he's a big story this season, Bobberts. He's not unfamiliar with the scene of racing, but he's never competed in a league format. He's never competed with the competition that's close to his level on a week-to-week basis. He's done a great job this season, and we've seen a lot of him. Last week he did a phenomenal job. He finished, I believe he finished outside the top 5, if not just 5th, and I have to go back to check the sheets for that, but he's a big story this season, and his first race ran really well. Struggled late in that race, got into a big accident, finished outside the top 10. Week 2, he finished 6th after trying to defend off against Chasmo late at Daytona. Last week had a phenomenal race after rebounding after the early incident turn 1, and here he is this week doing some work again, but now Cyberway's putting that pressure on him. He's got some experienced drivers putting the pressure on him, and what do you think's going through his mind? Oh, who's that off the track right there?
That's Big Shadow. Completely missing his brakes or locking up his brakes, and that's just cost him 3 places now. He's dropped from what was 4th place now down to 7th. Thankfully, no damage on his car, but that's a few places lost. He's going to have to recover himself now from that little error, and that's put now Scottson into that 4th places. I was actually on board with SSR Fun for us. He was trying to go around the outside of Jewel and get the comeback through Lake Common. Unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out, but now Fun for us may have to look in his mirrors as Scottson now approaches up to the back of him. The one thing I keep trying to keep looking at is the fuel, because obviously, as we did mention at the start here, fuel for the Ferraris could be a potential possibility of them maybe not making it, but at the look, coming to it'll be the end of lap 7 after pulling the formation lap. Jules on 55%, Fun for us in the BMW is on 60, so it's only 5% difference, maybe about 1% or so a lap. So I think the Ferrari should be good at the time being, but Fun for us definitely trying to be on the aggressive, because he knows Scottson's closing in and he wants to get a move on. Out in front, Chasmo seems to be pulling away a little bit, as the best pass on track actually at the moment, Steve, might be for, there's a few close together towards the top 10 position. Z-Tarab still behind CJ Pert, and Z-Tarab's actually got ahead of Starlord. Starlord seems to have made a mistake somewhere, because he's now down to 12th.
It's been a good one so far. A lot of action going on so far in this race. We've seen a couple guys save their butts going through Eau Rouge, and I'm still unsure what happened to Scott in that whole first 3-4 laps, as he's starting to close in on the guys battling for second right now, and a guy that we've kind of ignoring a little bit this season, not because he's not doing a great job, but MRT Jewel. I mean, we've really kind of kept away from what he's all about, and for a guy that's never raced in prototypes before, he's done a great job this season, and he's been one of the guys, and we see on a regular basis here at MEA try to compete, and he's just been getting better, and he's such a consistent driver, Roberts. We've talked about consistency in series past and how important that is, and when you can be consistent out there, you don't have to win all the races. If you're finishing top 2, top 3, just maybe always top 5 car, and the guys that might win races who might lag out or have a bad race day, in this circumstance right now, Scotson's having to rebound, but it gives you a great opportunity to not only win the championship, but it shows how good of a driver you can be.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know that all too well. As just away from that, Turtle, I think, actually had a moment through Eau Rouge. Unfortunately, he's now the second victim of Eau Rouge, potentially, as he's got 100% damage all across the board, and he's struggling to make it back to the pit. So I think that's Turtle's race now pretty much done with. As PK as well, who started towards the back, I think he's dropped off a little bit on this last lap or so. The field does seem to be spreading.
We had a battle, though, for 8th. Marshmallow on the back end of Diamond Man right now, working on him here. if if the
Watching
Ferraris,
this three-way battle.
and he's got it, he took over the position. But what I was about to say, if the Ferraris can make it to lap 16 or 17, then they're fine the rest of the way. Even lap 13 or 14, I think they'll be fine the whole way.
I was going to say they just got to get to half race distance. Lap 14, lap 14, pit at the end of lap 14, 13 then complete laps. As Scottson tries to go around the outside of Rivage here, trying to get on Funfrost. Funfrost closes the door on him, so just about defends his position there, Funfrost. But Scottson clearly is a man on a mission. He wants to try and he can see that gap to Chasmo is getting bigger and bigger as the laps go by. He's got to get a move on, and first on his list is SSR Funfrost for that third place.
Fun's trying to play defense right now, and look at the gap that he just got on Jewel. Like, they were literally 2 seconds ago right on. Look at the pass! Scottson to the inside!
Great move there from Scottson. Just had the grip on the outside. Normally you'd only find that in the wet condition, but he made it work in the dry, and that was a brilliant move.
And we talk about the experience and probably the best driver in the field for sure. I mean, this guy, he lives in prototypes. He loves these prototypes, and whenever he has a chance to show it, he goes out there and he proves it. And that's why he's one of the best at what he does. And oh, look at this! Fun's trying to make a move, but he couldn't do it. But that pass that he took on Fun, I mean, that wasn't an easy pass. I mean, to run that outside where you were in that section of those, I mean, that's the S curves right there, pretty much. I mean, that's a tough place to put your car on the outside, hold that line, and then get yourself back to the inside to make a pass.
Is it? Oh, way up. I just seen Turtle do it again. No, he's just getting out of the way of everybody. That's fair enough, actually, Turtle. No, fair play to you for that one. Getting out of the way of all the leaders now as they come through. But yes, that move from Scottson going around those S-curves, as you said, Steve, yeah, great move around the outside. Managed to have the grip. The one thing that I have noticed is Scottson does not have the straight line speed, even in comparison to Jewel in the other Ferrari, but he's clearly gone for the acceleration and maybe a slightly higher downforce setup. That's probably what helped him. It'll help him in this middle sector. This seems to be where he's a lot quicker than those around him.
And Turtle just getting back on the racetrack. Turtle finally, sorry, I had to cut you off. There's a battle going on for 13th right now between Envy and Truth, BMW versus Ferrari, and then all you see is Turtle slowly creeping back onto the track. So he's back on. Look at this, to the inside, side by side, Truth and Envy. Envy trying to hold on to it. He gets a little nudge to the outside. Look at the move by Truth. He just puts the gas down. Had to go a little wide for it, but sealed the deal on that pass. And I don't know if you saw that, Bobber. That was a nice little battle there for that 13th position.
I got the end of it. I did get the end of it. The one thing I was just making a note of was that Marshmallow's actually passed Diamond Man at some point in the last few laps. He's now into the 8th place. But now he's got a bit of a gap to try and close down Beast Shadow.
Battle for second.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Scottson's here. He's making Jewel. Oh, you see, look how much later on the brakes Scottson is compared to Jewel. That's the downforce for you. That he's getting under braking.
I tell you what, though.
But you can see.
I'm surprised that Chasmo hasn't gotten a bigger gap on these guys. He's really not that far away. And look at that. Oh, Scotson to the inside.
A little bit of tappy, touchy-feely. Do not go too wide for Moulin Rouge, guys. Please.
Who's going to back off?
Recipe for disaster.
Who's going to give it? Who's going to give way? Oh, what a smart move by the veteran driver. I don't think Joel was going to give that one up.
No, I don't think it was. This is what I was on about before, though. Jules got the straight line speed, so clearly Scottson has gone a little bit more downforce, perhaps. Maybe a little bit of a shorter gearbox in that top gear. But you can see how much quicker he is through the corners, through Le Combe now. As he comes into Rivage, he's going to have the inside with Jewel trying to defend for his life. And for now, he just...
Oh! He opened the door!
Slightly.
Side by side. Can Jewel make the inside move? No, but Scottson does a little bit of a power move right there. And on by he goes. And here we go, Roberts, the track down. Does Scottson have enough time to track down RDE Chasmo? And I personally... I think he can. I don't think Chasmo put enough gap on him.
No, I mean, looking at the lap times, I mean, Scottson's lapping about 7/10 of the lap faster when he was in that clean air to Chasmo. That gap is not, I don't think it's big. That gap, I think, needs to be at least twice the size for Chasmo to have any chance. We still have, 15, 16 laps here still to go in this race. Yes, there is a pit stop still to happen. as well. But that's the one thing that could maybe decide as well. Pit is, when do you pit? You want to come out in that clean air. You do not want to be behind somebody who has not stopped yet and get held up. So this could come down to pit stops at the same time. But you know, Chasmo, he's getting the laps. He's being consistent. We can't take that away from him.
No, he's being consistent.
But I don't think he's being consistently. He's just not fast enough.
We're just riding with him right now, and you know, Chasmo is one of the fastest drivers in the field, and you know, that's why I said I was a little surprised at how big the gap is right now, because you know, at the beginning of the race, Chasmo was on the tail end of Scotson the whole entire time as he's going up to Rouge right now, and you know, after the incident, I mean, I've always said some drivers are better followers than leaders, and that doesn't mean you're terrible if you're out front. Some people just are better putting the pressure on and sticking with somebody than being in front of them and trying to create that gap. And I feel like Chasmo might be one of those guys that might be a little bit better on the following sectors than being out there. Because when because you know, I think Bobbers, you can agree with this one with me. There's times where in a race, you as a driver, you're more comfortable in certain spots on the track. And some people like the pressure. They like being put on. You know, they want you to give them everything they got, and that makes you go. Some people like to be right behind you, and they just want to follow your lines, and it makes them drive even harder to keep up with you. And then there is some people out there that can just take off, but then there's those other people, myself included, where I've been in races myself where I'm so fast being with the person, having to chase them, and then if I'm by myself, it just seems like everything changes. And I wonder if that's the same thing for you, Bobbers, or in any of those circumstances.
It depends on who you race. Well, for me, actually, it depends on who I'm racing against. I mean, if I'm against somebody who I know is maybe a little quicker or the same pace as me, I would much rather be the car behind. Put that pressure on, you know, find what they're doing different, get those few extra tenths or hundredths of a second that can make all the difference. And yeah, I'm, you know, as we have done in the any sort of format race, whether it's an MEA or in Toro or whatever. But I prefer to be the attacker. I prefer to you know, make those moves, be the aggressor. I'm not saying that I can't lead a race, because I can. I have done. But I'd much rather be the one attacking and do it at a late stage. But everybody, as you said, everybody runs differently.
Oh, and I agree, and I think everybody just what you're comfortable with. Is we got a battle though, Bobbers, going on in the back of the pack for 13th right now, as Surf V is now putting the pressure on MRT Truth. And you know, it's not often that we get to talk about some of these guys in the further back of the field, because you know we like to be on the action points. And you know, here at MEA we love to showcase all the drivers, so we do the best we can for that.
Oh, foot cross round the outside of the top, and sorry, Steve. He's finally made that move on Jewel. He's finally got ahead of him. Yes, Scotsy might be ahead of him, but he's finally got ahead of Jewel. And Fun is back in that third place where he started.
And I hate that I missed it, because I didn't know that battle was going on. I do apologize for people watching. It's hard to find all the battles on the track, especially with this division of cars. So you can, I'm sure as I'm looking at one place, Bobbers is looking into another. But yeah.
Well, now that I've seen that, I'm now on the battle for 5th and 6th. You've got Ballistic, who's been a little bit ragged, I'd say, so far this race. I've noticed he's not been consistent in his lap times, and Cyberways, who started behind him on track, is actually going currently faster. And this is why he's now closing onto the back. But I'll tell you who else is closing, and that was Scotty, Steve. That gap between the top two, in the 2 laps now that he's had of clean air, that gap is half as much as what it was.
This is a, I don't know if this is what we consider a historic race here at MEA, but we've seen this over a year ago, Roberts, and I don't know if you were with us at that time or were part of the race broadcasting, but a year ago, I wouldn't say today, near the end of last season, final week of the championship, Wisconsin.
Jewel time bombing it. Sorry,
it's
Steve.
Okay. No, it's all good. It's all good, because I caught that a little bit on, because I'm on the battle for 5th right now. So I saw the up front going into the corner and how he had to go a little wide to avoid contact. But what I was trying to say is, Scott's been in this situation before, but he had to start last place in the final race of the season last year. He crawled his way all the way up into the top 5, was tracking down SSR at the time, Markey, now Marshmallow. And Cyberways gets him on! Cyberways!
Oh!
Gets a tap by Ballistic! And a big immense there! And Ballistic with no damage though. That's very unfortunate. Oh my gosh. And Ballistic, knowing that he kind of made a mistake there, I don't know if it was intentional or not, and it didn't look intentional, just like, it looked like a very slight tap by Ballistic after Cyberways got the position, and he just went flying, and he is very fortunate, Roberts, that he did not get any damage from that.
Well, not only that, he's very fortunate that Cyberways didn't pick up any damage at the same time. I think, again, this is another scenario where Cyberways has gone for the straight line speed setup, and Ballistic is perhaps a little bit better with the aero only through these corners, as it's just showing right here. And maybe, I think he just mistimed the fact that Cyberways was going to be earlier on the brakes, and, well, you know, fair play to Ballistic. Yes, he hit it. I'm not saying fair play to that, but fair play. He did not take the position. He waited for Cyberways to get back on track. So they haven't lost the position. Well, obviously they're still in 5th and 6th. We've lost time. But yes, B Shadow is now with them, and the only downside is they are now fallen away from the 3rd and 4th place drivers, as we have our first pit stopper, and it is MRT Jewel that is going into the pits.
And Joel probably needs to make that pit stop. It looks like he got a little bit sketchy on the last couple of laps after battling with Fun. And I think
I don't think he had enough fuel for another lap. He's got 7% fuel left, so he'd have been very touch and go.
And I believe all these Ferrari drivers are going to need to think about that next pit stop too, because they're on 8% fuel. Cyberways, Ballistic, and B Shadow right there. I believe.
Oh, Ballistic!
Oh, Ballistic into the wall!
He did get a little hit by B Shadow, but it's not B Shadow's fault. Ballistic was already sideways. He clipped the grass, going up Eau Rouge.
Oh, no. Whoa! That was very close.
Just about turned that round. Turned that round in time. But that's Ballistic's race now done with. Here comes the next train of cars. There goes Truth. And here comes Surf V and Jewel.
I think Marshmallow made a pit stop as well on that sequence of pit stops there. We pull up the race map to see if anyone is in the pits. It looks like a couple of the drivers still in the pits right now. That would be EBRPK and MRT, Elgard still on the track. Very unfortunate for Ballistic. He was running such a great race. I know it wasn't the best race by him, but let's get up to the lead pack right now, as Ballistic is going to have to take that long drive around the racetrack. Hopefully the fuel holds up for him, because he does not have enough for at least another lap. And at this point, I believe we're going to see a pit stop by Scottson and Chasmo here, so let's check it out. And Chasmo is going to go into the pits. Scottson's going to take... Oh, Scottson just made a last-minute decision to go into the pits, and he hits the wall. Wow.
He'll have lost time. No, I don't think they'll realize how little fuel they had left.
Fun for us.
They didn't realize how little fuel they had. Fun's actually got damage.
Cyberways coming in. AB Shadow's coming in. Z-Tarp is the next one in line. He has to come in. Yeah, he's only 7% fuel. He's driving the BMW. Yeah, it looks like Star-Lord's going to come in.
The only person who could have done another lap was actually Fun for us. The BMW clearly could do an extra lap, but Chasmo looks like he's going to maintain his lead, even after what was a very strange pit entry. As I have just noticed, Scottson takes the pit exit clean, and Chasmo decides to straight line it.
Turtle's now into the pits. Diamond Man's going in. Ballistic is just now getting there. Actually, no, Diamond Man stays on the racetrack for another one. And I believe CJ Pert's going in. No, maybe, I don't know. No, CJ Pert stayed out.
Diamond Man's already pitted, Steve. That's why he's staying out. He's on 93%.
Oh, so is CJ Pert.
Where's CJ?
He's 11th.
CJ's in 11th. I would think he's pitted. Yes, he's already pitted.
We got a battle.
2 laps ago.
Marshmallow looking to try to crack the top 5 now, as he is tracked down. AMS B Shadow and PPS Cyberways. Marshmallow giving us one of those special performances, Bobberts, as he started from the rear pack of the field, and he's looking at the top 5 right now, and this is something that I'm sure is a lot of fun for him, especially when you come from behind the pack. And I mean, I don't know what's more impressive at this point, Scotson's you know, catching back up, his rebounding, or Marshmallow starting from the rear and now looking at the top 5. I don't know which one you take, because they're both very impressive performances right now.
Well, what I definitely take is how accurate Forza is, and the fact that it says the top speed in this race so far is 391 miles an hour.
You can't,
I'm gonna ask
can't
Elgard
make this stuff up, people.
I'm going to ask Elgard, because apparently he's the one who's done it, if he's actually done that legitimate time. Sorry, speed even, I should say, not time. But a few things that are going on is Sideways is on the thread from B Shadow, and we have Jules lost time to Fun For Us somehow, somewhere in those pit stop windows. So Fun For Us has got the gap now to him, but Scott's once again closing back up onto Chasmo. I think give it another lap, and he will be right there.
So 10 laps to go in this race. I don't know where do we sit right now. Do we go to the lead battle? I think that's what we're going to need to go to here. Keep an eye on that Bobbers. Let me know how close they get. We're going to still ride along with this battle for 5th right now between Cyberwaste, Shadow, and Marshmallow. As they go up to Rouge. Oh my gosh! Marshmallow had a huge run. B-Shadow made a big mistake, side by side, down the long straightaway. Marshmallow looking for the room on the outside, and he's gonna get it, just like that. Marshmallow into the top 6 now. And now he's gonna work on Cyberwaste. Marshmallow gets a little bit deep into that turn. B-Shadow on the back bumper of him now, going into the right-hander right there as he comes around the carousel.
They're going to Beau Rivage now. Marshmallow hugging the inside line. Big Shadow is probably just going to sit behind him. Going to try and recatch back onto Cyberwaste, who's in that 5th place. And as I'm going to have a quick look back at Scotton. Scotton is now on the back of Jasmine Steve. It's less than 70 feet. Here we are. This is the battle for the lead.
And Chasmo's probably thinking...
We've still got 10 laps to go.
And Chasmo's probably thinking right now, what do I got to do?
Well, he's going to have to defend for his life. Well, he's got to hug the inside line. He's got to make, force Scotson around the long way. That's the only thing he can do. But Scotson's got a great run here from the slipstream through Blanchimont into the bus stop chicane. Chasmo goes defensive to the inside line, defends really well, gets onto the apex of the corner. Scotson's trying to get some form of a cut back here to get a good run out. But Chasmo got a good run himself, so he holds on for now as we have 10 to go.
Ballistic moved up 1 position now. He's now with it inside the top 15 as he passes EBRPK for that 15th position after a horrible instant mistake going through Rouge a few laps ago. Tough break for Ballistic, but here we go through Rouge. Bumper to bumper. Scottson trying to make that big run. I don't know who's got the top speed on the straight. We're going to find out right here, but Scottson's got the draft.
I think they both got the same setup here. Yeah, mayhem, because Scottson didn't look like he was.
He is doing everything here right now.
He's going to have to defend for all his worth. But what they've got to do is they can't lose too much time to one another, because Fun For Us is not all that far behind them. And if those two start squabbling and getting each other's way. Fun For Us isn't that far away. He could pick up the pieces.
Well, this is what you want if you're Fun For Us. You want these two duking it out. You know that Chasmo's doing... I don't know if Fun knows, but from what we're watching, we know Chasmo's doing everything he can to keep Scotson behind him, and Scotson's trying to do everything he can to get around him. So what's going to happen here? I mean, this is a big track. It's a fast track, and Rouge has not been very nice to people today. And these two connect somewhere along those lines. Well... you got to think who's sitting there waiting to see these two mess up, and it could be a big win for Fun, but at this point right now, this could be a big win for Chasmo, and Scottson just trying to rebound after the incident. But look how close he is to Chasmo, Bobbers. I mean, he is letting Chasmo know, I'm right here. And I think for Scottson, he's going to make a really hard move to the outside probably to try to get around him, which I think right here.
And here we go.
And he's got the run, and Scottson to the inside, they connect.
You hit him now, sometimes, just a little bit of the
new race leader
connection or whatever. But yes, he's back where he started. It's taken him a good 16 laps to get back in the lead, but he's back there now. What can Chasmo do about it? He's got to, if he wants to get back past him, he's going to have to do it now to have any chance. He's going to get the run through on Rouge and Radion, which he gets a decent run through. But I don't think he's close enough here, Mayhem. I think that gap's too big.
And I just made, just as I say, he's got to make the outside move. He did it, and he did it as if he's done it his entire career. And right now, it's not looking good for Chasmo, but don't give up on him just yet, folks. He's still there. He's still up front. Is he a follower? We're gonna find out, Bobbers. Is he a follower? Can he put that pressure on him from behind? But meanwhile, that's going on. A expected battle for the top 5, 5th position right now. Marshmallow putting the pressure on Cyberways, and Marshmallow didn't qualify this week, ladies and gentlemen, and he's coming all the way back from 15th position to try and pull off the top 5, and it looks like somebody has lagged out of this race, or has left. What has happened? We've gone through the whole race so far, Bobbers, without any big instances. Who is it?
Well, I'm waiting for it to go into. I'm waiting to find out, and the answer
and it's nobody. It's just a Forza. Well, that makes us feel better. We don't like seeing that. We don't like seeing people leave. We only have one driver, and it was very unfortunate that Merciful had to end his day short. Look at this though. B Shadows come back up to Marshmallow. We talked about the followers, man. B Shadows been able to keep up since Marshmallow made that pass. And Marshmallow's not running his best right now. I wonder if his car's a lot better in the long run.
I think I found out what happened, Steve, and the answer is, Chasmo is in the pit. He has 100% damage.
And not sure what happened to Chasmo as we got off. And we knew Chasmo was going to have to run really hard. Did you see what happened?
Unfortunately, I didn't know. I wondered why there was a big gap developing between first and second. And so I went to see where Chasmo was, and he was actually making a pit entry. And so this is an unscheduled stop, obviously. And he's now out. He's going to be outside the top 10, I think, here, by the looks of it, as he comes onto pit exit. He's going to be around with CJ Perk, and he's going to be behind him because of the acceleration. So he comes out in 11th place, but that is the last thing that Chasmo would have wanted. And, well, like we say, we don't know what happened. It wasn't an Eau Rouge moment. It happened I wonder if that lag was something that happened with him, and it sent him into the wall, maybe. It's the only thing I can think of, which if it did, is very unfortunate, but he's got some catching up to do again.
And you see where Scott's is. That puts fun for us up to that second place now. MRT Jewel still sits third, ladies and gentlemen. And, I'm really impressed with Jewel. I'm going to get on Jewel here for a moment, and we'll get back to that fourth place battle between Cyberways and Marshmallow. But this guy is just, I think he's truly impressive, Roberts. He's a consistent driver. You can't take that away from anybody. He's rarely in accidents. What's going on?
B Shadow on the outside, and Marshmallow going to curve for pretty nice. A fantastic move. B Shadow taking that 5th place away from Marshmallow. That was, I've watched him set him up. He had the good run through Pouon, and he set him up through the S's. But here goes Marshmallow now with that acceleration and straight line into Blanchimont. He had to get out of the throttle there, Mayhem. Or as he may have hit the back of B Shadow. B Shadow goes defensive to the inside line. Here comes Marshmallow on the outside into the bus stop chicane. Didn't it quite have momentum.
We've seen this battle earlier, and Cyberways, they were catching him, and he's now starting to get away. And that's why I'm saying I wonder whose car is better on the. Ooh, Marshmallow gets a little wide to one. He overshot the turn. But you gotta wonder whose car is better on the long run right now. And right now, B Shadow looking a little bit stronger.
Certainly does. I mean, yes, he put a great move on there. Just look at the lap times as it comes across, and I think that lag spike affected everybody on that last leg because nobody put in some really good lap times, especially obviously Chasmo, who's now gone past CJ Perry. He is now back in the top 10, but as we said, he has a lot of work to do. There's a big gap between him and 9th place, which is being occupied by SSR Starlord. But yes, as you were saying about MRT Jewel, he had a good race last week. He avoided the carnage on that first lap. He started, I think, 4th or 5th, I believe, and got himself into that 2nd place where he stayed throughout the rest of the race. And here he is again. Yes, he's had a good battle with Fun for Us, you know, for a large portion of the race. Maybe Fun for Us has got the slight upper hand on him by the looks of it today. Obviously, there's still 6 laps to go still, but you know, he's in that 3rd place. He's being consistent, and that's what you need.
It's been a very eventful race, Bobberts, and very fortunate to see most of the 99% of the drivers on the racetrack still. You know, Mercerfield, the only one that had an early incident, and I'm sure wasn't an expected way to end his day. And it seems like Mercerfield and you know, some of the WRT guys have had this bad luck here at MEA, where they just don't get to finish the race, whether it's a disconnect, early instances. And, you know, sometimes you don't blame the driver. I mean, it was early in the race. He probably would have had to make a second unscheduled, possibly 3rd pit stop, depending on how his race went. And being as far behind as he was, you know, you just don't really want to... It becomes more of a, well, what can I really do? Am I really going to be able to gain any ground? And if you think you're not going to be able to do that, it might be better to put it in the garage and take it home and move on to the next week. So, again, very unfortunate for Mercerfield earlier.
It was, yeah. I mean, you know, the worst part for something to happen is the first lap where everyone's all bunched up together. That's where you're going to lose the most amount of time to those that are around you or to anybody in the race. So it is unfortunate. Obviously, we didn't see what happened. Obviously, I think we know it happened through Eau Rouge, which, you know, at that early part of the race is very, very unfortunate for Mercerfield. But hopefully he can bounce back for next week's race, and you know, hopefully he can just get better from there. But one thing that isn't going better right now is for Esteban Marshmallow. He's actually being dropped by Beast Shadow. So when you were mentioning before by him about those long distance runs, you can see Marshmallow going very wide through crew. I had a bit of a switch there. He's actually losing a lot of ground, and I think his day is done. I think 6th place could be where he's going to finish, which is still a good result considering where he started, but he probably were hoping to finish in the top 5.
Well, we also got to remember Beast Shadow had an incident earlier in the race. This wasn't like Beast Shadow was fighting his way up through the field or anything. He made an early mistake after going past Rouge into the chicane, and he lost about 3 positions if you don't remember. So, I mean, we don't really know if Marshmallow was the faster driver at the time, because Beast had to basically rebound from where he made a mistake. So this might just be the rebound that Beast Shadow wants to have. He could be a top 3 car right now if the earlier incident didn't happen. We're going to find out, though, if he's got the speed in the car to catch Cyberways, who's currently ran one of the best races. He raced last week, had a good top 10, I believe. Here today, he's running hard. We haven't yet. The only driver a lap down currently is Turtle, who had an earlier incident with Rouge, which was very unfortunate. We talk about Rouge so much. It's really...
A lot of things. It's one of those cars. It's an iconic corner, but it's an incident-prone corner.
We do, however, looks like a battle for 9th is about to bloom here as RD Chasmo is starting to make some moves here as he's fighting to get back as many positions as he possibly can. What a wild day it's been for Chasmo. He's, you know, he was falling behind, started 2nd, got the lead early after a mistake by Scotson. Scotson later on in the race with 10 to go, battling for position, got the lead. Something we didn't get to see that happened to Chasmo. Put him into the pits for a 2nd time, dropped him all the way back to 11th, and has had to fight his way back up since then. Now, he hasn't gotten a whole lot of action because of the unscheduled stop, but here he is trying to get as many positions as he can late. And we talk about the mentality as he goes to the inside of Star-Lord, side by side, and Star-Lord says, hey, I'm not going to battle you. I know you're quicker than me. Let me get you on going. I don't want to ruin your race. I don't want to ruin my race. Get on going, and Chasmo's just had a rebound ever since, Bobbers.
He has indeed, and you know, I think he's been a little fortunate. I mean, I thought maybe he could have caught up to these two a bit later on, but you know, he's still got a bit of time. There's a huge gap between Diamond Man, who's 8th, and Z-Tower, who's actually Z-Tower's made his way into 7th place. It's a good recovery drive from Z-Tower as well, because I think he fell as low as 13th or 14th at one point. So he's had a good recovery drive himself. So I think Chasmo is looking for probably that 8th place, and that's probably about the best he's going to get today.
Well, Z-Terp, we'll go back to talk to him real quick. Last week at Indianapolis, I don't know if you remember, he had that late mid-race mistake with SSR CJ Pert, where he actually spun out before they got to the final little section of the racetrack and ended up finishing outside the top, I think, 12. So I think this is a big day for Z-Terp. He's shown that he's had speed in weeks past, and I think this is a good performance for him today. And I think he's going to be very pleased with his results at the end of the day, as long as everything continues to go the way it seems to be for him. Meanwhile...
Starlord looking to get aggressive on Chasmo there. Starlord clearly had he's got the straight line speed setup compared to Chasmo's aero setup, and he nearly got ahead of him going into the comp, but Chasmo later on the brakes.
It's real nice to see this.
But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're all right.
No, all I was going to say is it's nice to see Starlord back on the racetrack. He had a personal issue about over a week ago that kept him out of last week's race. He qualified but didn't want to run the race. So a lot of personal issues. He's good to go now. It's great to have him back on this race, and he hasn't had the best season, Roberts. Right now, in that 10th spot, I believe if he finishes there today, it would possibly be his first top 10 of the season, if not. Say, oh, look at this move! Diamond Man side by side with Chasmo. They cut. Chasmo with the better run off the corner, and Chasmo will take over the 8th spot now.
Steve, you need to get back onto this battle for 5th and 6th place. B Shadow has fallen into the clutches of Marshmallow again, as he's got to go really defensive. He's going back into turn 1 with 3 to go here into last source. B Shadow blocks, closes the door on the inside line. Great defensive there from B Shadow. Trying to hold on to that 5th place.
Well, I pull up the race cars here right now. Marshmallow's got a lot of traction, or his tires are a lot more warmed up right now, I think. Let's look at Beast Shadow's
he's
car.
got the straight line speed.
Yeah, his tires.
There he goes.
And there we go. These two are doing a lot of battling. I think Beast is going to say, hey, I'm not going to race you too hard through here. And that's why I said, I mean, I think his tires should be warmed up. He's better on the long run than maybe Beast Shadow was on the early run. Depending on what the setup was, I mean, that's probably why Beast was able to make a better run, but I don't think... Oh! What just happened there?
Oh, that's a little bit of touchy-feely there from Big Shadow onto Andy. Oh, he's going to let him through. He does let him through, realised that maybe it was a little bit too aggressive, so fair play to him. And now Marshmallow makes the mistake, and Big Shadow will just say, well, thank you very much. I will just go right on through clean this time then. Clearly, B Shadow's got the downforce aero. Marshmallow, as you can tell by the straight line speed, has got the straight line speed setup, as it were. But because of these two, again, either mistakes on the consistency, PPS Cyberways looks like he's going to be rather comfortable to hold on to that 4th place.
And once again, if you're just tuning in or you've been watching, we're going to have post-race interviews after the race, talk to the top 5 drivers from today's action. So just stay tuned. We got 2 laps to go, and it looks like another win for Scotson unless he makes a big mistake. And right now, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Well, he's made one mistake in this race. Mayhem wants to say he can't do a second, but I think he's one of these drivers who learns or puts that mistake behind him, and he'll just be flawless throughout the rest of the races. Here we go with 2 to go, and Marshmallow once again closed in the back of B Shadow. We're getting to the territory now where the straight line speed will come in good. He's still 100 feet behind, but I can put money on it that he will be alongside at least as they go down the Camel straight through Eau Rouge and Radion for the penultimate time. And look at that, there's the gap halved already. And well, this is like
look at the move to the inside by Marshmallow! Look at that aggressive move, and he gets right in front of him. Did you see that move by Marshmallow? He threw the car down on the inside. It wasn't just your typical, I'm going to slide on over. He had a huge run on Beast, and he just threw the car to the right, and he got right around him. What a move by SSR Marshmallow there, Bobbers.
It was a good move. It looked like B Shadow was going to defend to the inside, but then he moved back over to the left on the racing line and realised there was no point defending. But this is where B Shadow's better. In this middle section, it's through this very quick left-hand corner of Puwon. Marshmallow, actually B Shadow made a little bit of an error there, but Marshmallow runs wide. Here goes B Shadow now. He's got the run off the corner, going into the S section here. can get a bit of touch, but see what I mean? There's the aero. That's the aero package. The difference in these two tunes on cars, and that's me Shadow back into 5th place. This could come down to a last step breaking into the bus stops game between these two.
I'm not sure what happened there because Marshmallow almost lost the car. If you didn't see, he had a little bit of a sim twitch. And I honestly think Beast Shadow being right next to him helped him from spinning out. Because it didn't look like
Steve, Z-Tarab has made a huge mistake. I think he spun the car and Chasmo is not far behind him, so maybe Chasmo can get another place.
White flag in the air, 1 to go. And this is getting interesting. We got a few battles on the track right now. We'll
side
get on
by
Scott.
side going into the source. B-Shadow on the inside defending for his life from Marshmallow, but Marshmallow's going to have the run out of the source.
This could be huge!
Him into the wall.
Oh, this is a huge pass before Rouge, because if he gets through Rouge without having to get... Oh, yeah! Big run here! Marshmallow just has to stick it. He can put a big gap on Beast Shadow, and that could seal the deal right here for that 5th place spot.
You gotta remember though, Mayhem, it's, you know, Beast Shadow is a lot better in that middle section. There's still plenty of time left. I mean, look at that, look how much time he gained under braking alone there. That's half the gap gone already. That Marshmallow is just over these two, but they duke it out for the remainder of his lap. As you said, going to our leader, ESB Scottson. He's going to start the final sector very soon now as he comes into Kerber Paul Foray, and ever since he reached that lead,
Marshmallow lost the car! And he loses the position. He will hang on right there. Not sure what happened. It didn't look like he got touched by Beast. Beast slid off a little bit, let Marshmallow go back in front of him. Wow, what a miss it there. Shadow to the outside, side by side as they go into the turn. Shadow taking back over Beast now. Coming across the start line, your winner of week number 4 here at Spa, ESB Scottson will take the victory. We're going to get back to the ace action right now. It's fun for us. We'll probably finish 2nd, 3rd, Joel, 4th, Cyberways, but the 5th and 6th battle is where it's at right now. Not only that, the 7th place battle between RDE Chasmo and Z-Tarab is still going on as well, so here we go. Can Marshmallow make a move here? This is going to be a big one.
He will dive bomb it. He will dive bomb it.
He's got to go to the outside.
Got to cover. He covers,
to the outside.
Beast Shadow will...
Side by side. Marshmallow overdrove the turn.
That's a shame. He looked like he may have set himself up there, but Beast Shadow takes that 5th place. Good racing between these two. Z-Tarab and Chasmo's actually lost ground to Z-Tarab on this lap, so...
Well, 7th goes Z-Tarab, 8th goes RDE Chasmo, 9th hanging on. Star-Lord's right there, side by side. Can't do it. I mean, he'll take 9th, 10th will be Star-Lord.
Oh, side by side for 11th, Steve.
Coming across the stripe, who's gonna get it? Surfbeat did everything he could, and MRT Truth will take position. 13th, MRT Ballistic has bounced back from 16th back after the previous incident to get up to 13th. 14th, SSR Envy ran one of the most consistent races he's had this season, I believe. I know he's been having issues down in the B lobby races, but he's able to hold on to 15th, or 14th. 15th, EBRPK. We've seen EBRPK this season on and off. He's a champion back in the Manufacturers Challenge. A little bit different car for him. He'll take home 15th. 16th, a rough day for CJ Bobberts as he'll finish in the 16th position. MRT Elgard, his first appearance in this series, has got some work to do for the future races to come. And rounding out, it looks like Turtle had backed out of the race. So just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, as we get the post-race interviews coming up. And Bobberts, what an exciting race.
It was a fun, action-packed race. We've had drama right from the word go on lap 1, and it didn't stop there right until the end. So as, as you said, let's get the top 5 finishers from tonight's race here at Spa. See what they have to say.
And what a race it was, Bobberts. I mean, from start to finish, it was a lot. The start of the race, obviously, being a little wrong person. Being a little choppy, I accidentally sent an invite to Ballistic there, so we'll have to get Ballistic out. And then Cyber Waste as well. So your top 5 cars. So ignore me. I already accidentally invited Ballistic. So.
Well, that's clever, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
10 points for Steve.
We'll just pretend he
Should have
been here. And so we got a few of the drivers in so far. We'll get here in a minute. We're going to give the other guys an opportunity again. Cyberwaste just joining with us now, and I think we're only missing Jules. So we'll
Just Jewel.
Jewel, one
He was
more.
in my party, I'll invite him.
Alright, so we'll get Jewel in here. You guys have just got in here. Please accept the check mark box off on the
Yeah, audio.
party audio. Thank you. And he has to go. Joel has to leave. So, ladies and gentlemen, third place finisher MRT Joel 2 ran a great, consistent race today. Not a whole lot of action for him, but he'll finish top 3 here today. And we'll start with Beast Shadow to kick things off, ladies and gentlemen. And Beast, it was a kind of a wild race for you there, especially near the
Roller
end.
coaster.
And yes, Ballistic, to answer that question, I do apologize. However, it was a roller coaster ride for you. Early in the race, you kind of were just settling in. You ended up making a big mistake off of the straight, which dropped you back a few positions.
Right off the track.
And, you know, after that, you've kind of had to play catch up with it. Now, you and Marshmallow there late in that race, and Marshmallow came all the way back from, I believe, 15th place. He came charging late, and you guys just kept going back and forth. And after
There's
the
a
pit
big
stops,
difference in the tunes.
Oh, we definitely see it. Marshmallow had the straight line speed. You had the grip
I had
throughout the
1%
center of the
every
track.
time as well.
But take us through your race.
Well, I mean, you literally just did.
Well, take us through the mental process. I mean, come on. I know I gave you the rundown, but how was that race for you?
After the big mistake, it's always quite mentally challenging to get yourself back on track and try and get a good position and not just quit out the race. But I just got my head down, got some laps in. Luckily, something happened to Ballistic and what's his name? Thingamajig. Oh, yeah, Chasma was there. So luckily I seen them two. That gave me a bit of a boost. Started putting my head down again. And it ended up just being a good race overall. Enjoyed it.
Alright, well, you know, Beast, that was one of your best races of the season by far so far. I would say.
Yeah.
I don't. It's been one of those tough races this season. As Chasmo said, my car be like no, and Ballistic said I was sabotaged. So those two drivers had a very.
Twice, I was like, GG.
Those two drivers had a great race today. Obviously, Chasmo had a lot of the laps led in this race, and unfortunate circumstances with his car. And then Ballistic, obviously battling for position, got in process of an accident through Rouge, and we actually caught that. But you know, Beast, it's you know, we talk about week-to-week basis and how the championship unravels, and being, you know, we're only in our 4th week, so there's still a whole lot of season left to go. I know you as a driver, as a competitor, you want to do everything you can to do the best you can and, you know, win the championship. But performances like this is what's going to get you there. I think if you continue to do this, it's going to be really fun to watch you as the season goes on. But congratulations on a top 5 finish and one of your best performances so far this season.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
And moving up to the ladder here, PPS Cyberwaste. And once again, you guys make sure you got the audio checked. At least you did. But just Cyberwaste, this is your 2nd race with us this season. This is your 1st series in MEA. And last week, not the best race I'm sure you wanted to have. But this week, you made it happen. You started a little bit further back of the pack, kind of battled your way up through the field. Had a little bit of action here and there, but was able to get a top 5.
Yeah, I did alright. I wasn't facing the wrong way in the pit lane this week, so it was definitely helps.
No thanks to me.
And you know,
I did alright. Like, I spent a lot of time chasing down Ballistic, and then I finally got past him, and then he kind of gave me a little shove into the wall. Luckily, didn't really lose any track position. But,
right. And you know, that's
cool.
we brought that up because we actually got that little bit of that too, where you got right around him last second on the straight, and then it looked like he just barely tapped you, and it just kind of just went flying, at least from our view of it. But you guys were able to kind of get back on, no damage was taken, and was able to move on. But you had a new friend appear during that whole entire battle, which was Beast, and made for some good racing there for a little bit. But is there anything you want to take from today's race?
I had me pretty worried at the start of the 2nd stint, and then Marshmallow then made a charge as well. But I went for the low down force build too, so it wasn't too bad.
Right. I mean, it looked like that Beast and Marshmallow were starting to gain some ground on you late in the race. And then as they started to battle and they started to go back and forth, you were just like kind of chilling there saying, well, if they're going to do that, I'm going to try to get out of here. And it just seemed like once they started going at it, you were able to get away from them.
Yep, that's it.
Well, congratulations on a top 5 finish for 4th today. Very looking forward to see as your season progresses, and we'll see what happens next week. So congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And we're going to skip Joel as he's not here with us. But fun for us, back in race action this week. We know last week you weren't able to make it, but what was it like getting back in the car this week? Fun. You had some really fun battles as well. You battled Joel there for second. From what Bobber said, made a really nice pass on him, and you kind of was able to put the foot down, keep yourself consistent, and finish top 2 today.
Yeah. I had a bad start. MRT Jewel, he got a good run on me going out the first corner, and he kind of held his line throughout the laps. He kept pace with me. I wasn't really expecting that. And then Scottson made a huge mistake. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? Yeah. After that, after the second set, I kind of got past Jewel. And had a chill race after that. It was pretty good. I'm glad to be on podium. First podium of the series.
And you know, you didn't. If I remember correctly, you didn't get a whole lot of time this week in the car, and you being missing last week. Did it take a little bit more time for you this week, being into the competitive racing, to get kind of that consistency back? Because early on in the race, it looked like you were struggling a little bit.
I made sure that I was prepared. I was just kind of nervous at the first set. So.
Well, congratulations on a top 2 finish for the series and your first podium of the season.
Thank you.
And we're going to go to the race winner and his 3rd win on the season, ESB Scottson. And Scottson, it wasn't the easiest one, that's for sure. I had to go through some battling. Unfortunately, we didn't catch your mistake because we were in the mid-pack battles at the time, but you made an early mistake that didn't cost you any damage, dropped you all the way back to, I believe, 7th. You kind of battled your way slowly through up the field, and then once you got past, I believe, Jewel and Fun, you kind of gave Chasmo a run there. With 10 laps to go, it looked like Chasmo was giving you everything he had to keep you behind him. He was throwing every block he could. And then I said, right when you made the pass, I said right before that, I said, he's going to have to make the outside pass here one of these laps to get him. And you did just that. And then obviously Chasmo, late race incident, which actually we didn't catch either, dropped him way outside the top 10. He had to fight not way outside the top 10, but put him outside the top 10 to fight his way back inside of it. And you were able to just kind of race comfortably there at the end. So how hard was that race for you to just get back up to the front? Was there any moment in the race that you were frustrated, or you just kind of just run your own race and just got back up there?
I was a little frustrated with the error. I didn't see it coming at all. The car just kind of gave way on me into the turn. I also lost a bit of time because the car was glued to the wall. I tried to reverse and it wouldn't get off the wall for like a second or two, so that cost me a bit of time as well. But when I got back up to speed, I was like 6 seconds behind Chasmo at that point. Just monitored the gap. So if it was closing per lap, which it was, just tried to race as good as I could.
And you know, it was definitely a tough race for you to get back up through the field. But how hard did you have to run to get back up there?
Oh yeah. As soon as this mistake happened, it was full concentration, 100%, balls to the wall, you know. Full send.
Well, congratulations once again, Scottson, on another win this season as the championship still looks to unfold. It's your 3rd win. Forza Europa obviously not making this week, and he did not actually qualify, so he will be at no points again this week. But as the season progresses, what are you looking forward to? And I gotta ask you, you probably aren't used to making mistakes or having any issues like that. So going into the rest of the season, I'm sure you're going to do everything you can not to make more mistakes, as what has happened today, to put you in a position that you have to catch up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said 2 weeks ago, it's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes. So hopefully it won't happen again.
Well, congratulations on the win. And Bobberts, do you have anything you'd like to ask anybody here?
Who's the unlucky victim today then?
It's usually me, but it's not.
Well, do you know what, Beast? Let's give
I'm
you
usually
one.
dead.
So, obviously I've watched you made, well, I wasn't on board with you at the time, but obviously you made that mistake
Oh,
going
dear.
into the corner at
Thank
the end of
God.
the Camel Straight. Did you honestly, well, did you just lock up, or was it just, did you outbrake yourself? And honestly, did
I
you
was
maybe
just-
think at that point...
Because of how twitchy the car is, I had 2 wheels on the grass and the car would not come back on the track. I was gone.
Well, that's what happened. You're meant to stay on the tarmac, not the grass. That's what it's
Yeah,
there
I
for.
kind of figured that
It's the
out.
difference. That's why there's those white lines. They're meant to designate where you're meant to be and not meant to be.
Thanks for
that
that great advice.
out.
I'll apply that to all future races.
A
Yeah.
piece of advice to anybody watching: you stay on the black stuff and off the green stuff. There you go. Piece of advice for you.
I was just making sure the grass was looking nice for this. You see.
It was just too tempting. But well, no. Nevertheless, I know. Yes, you made that mistake. But it was a good recovery drive, and you know, you showed that you did have the pace at points, and you know, you did give us some good entertainment with Marshmallow at the end. Did you think that, you know, going into the bus stop on that last lap, did you think that he was going to get you, or did you have it covered?
I wasn't sure because literally the last lap before that, he got me just over the line into the corner. So I was very unsure on what was going to go on. I thought he might was just going to get me, or we were going to be like side by side. But
Well,
luckily I was
nevertheless,
got better.
you know, he outbroke himself a little bit by the looks of it, and you got the good run through.
I was expecting him to send it.
So well done on your best result of the season. We expect more of it next week. If not, then you're sacked.
No pressure. There's a mouse.
Cyberway. I was going to ask everybody a question. Cyberway, obviously, it's your first top 5 finish, and you know you did start towards the top end of the top 10, as it were, but you made your way through the field. You know, you showed you had great consistency, and you. Personally, I think you actually had the legs on Marshmallow and Beast. You know, towards the latter end of that stint. Do you think you can maintain this momentum going into next week?
Well, I'm hoping so. As I say, I had low downforce, and my main goal was just to hit like Eau Rouge fast and clean, like every lap, and get the run down the straight and try and run away from people. I mean, likes of Scots, and I just get out of his way. When after he made a mistake, I just get out of the fucking way, you know.
That's one way of putting it. I mean, obviously, as you said, you know, that you ran the top speed straight line setup, and obviously other people, probably including Scots actually, and Beast for that matter, were running the slightly higher downforce. Do you think, reflecting on it, do you think the straight line speed was the better way to go compared to the more downforce, or do you think it's about equal over the course of a lap?
I mean,
I just I couldn't get the car to settle down through Eau Rouge, like with higher downforce.
I mean, I'm guessing obviously everybody's got their own like personal opinion. What works best for you is obviously what you run. So obviously we saw the differences, you know, especially obviously going down the Camel Straight, going through Blanchimont, you know, you could see the big differences there. But then there's the other differences for the higher downforce, such as Beast. You know, you get the run on Marshmallow through Pouon, through the S's, and through Curve of Paul Ferret. Yes, I'm sad. I know these tracks, corner layout names. But so you can see the differences, and that's where it paid off. 2 more questions. Fun. Obviously, good to see you in the top 5. Good to see you finishing very well in 2nd place, even though maybe if it was slightly gifted because of Chaz Mo's error, whatever it is that he did. In fact, Scott's going to ask if you saw that in a second. But do you think it's fun that you can continue again your momentum going into next week? Do you think you can fight up there with Scottson and Chaz Mo to battle for those top places?
Scottson, maybe next year. Maybe next year for Scottson. But I can most definitely I just asked me.
Yeah, there you go, Scottson. That's for next year then.
Look forward to it.
But yeah, Jewel, like I said, he kind of got in the way for me, like trying to like compete with Chasmo, and I was like, oh man, I didn't know he had that type of pace. And it was kind of hard to get around him. He had some good defensive maneuvers, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you were getting a little frustrated at times. You know, you had the legs on him on the straight line speed on the Camel straight. You tried lap after lap going on the outside until they come, and he just had you covered. But obviously, there was that one occasion where you were a little bit closer, you got the run, and it paid off. And obviously, once you got past him, you'd never look back.
Yeah, pretty chill after that. So, yeah.
Alright.
Anyways,
well,
GG's, bud. Well done. One more question, Steve. Sorry. One more question for Scotty. You know, our current race leader. What the hell am I on about? Clearly, I'm on something high.
Good race, lad.
It was a good race, yeah. Obviously, Scotty, you know, you made that mistake early on. Obviously, you made your way through the field. It was a good recovery drive. Obviously, you showed that you had the pace because even though Chasmo qualified second and he was in the lead, you know. We actually did speak about this during the race, actually, but would you consider yourself as a person who's better at sitting behind somebody to chase them down, or do you think more comfortable being the one who's in front and, you know, taking all the pressure?
I think I can do either, but I would say probably slightly quicker on someone down.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Jesus Christ, that's what happens when you drink too much pop, everybody. But anyway, thank you very much, everyone who's been in here tonight. Obviously, Jewel, unfortunately, can't make it with us. It was a great race. Personally, I think the best race of the season. Would you agree, Steve?
It was a lot of action. Last week was a lot more tough for a lot of the drivers. I would say it was a lot more harder to pass on from what most people said. But this week, this was a lot of fun. Actually, Avier Rouge was very mean today. It took quite a bit of victims with it. A couple people were able to save their cars through it. We watched a few of the drivers from what we just seen. We saw Marshmallow. We actually saw Star-Lord. We actually saw, I think it was Zeratarp at one point that saved the car going through.
That's right,
we watched Ballistic die, and it was a big day for a lot of drivers.
I tried to get out the way back open.
Wasn't your fault, Beast. It's, you know, he clipped the grass. That's what it was.
Started. Yeah.
Alright, well,
I tried to avoid it.
I'm going to close it out here, fellas, but thank you all for watching. Once again, this is week number 4 here at Spa. We had race winner ESV Scotson for his 3rd victory on the season. SSR Fun for us, the only BMW driver finishing in the top 5, finishing 2nd here today. MRT Jewel finishing 3rd, PPS Cyberweights 4th, and top 5, AMSB Shadow. Once again, this is SSR Mayhem and SSR Bobbers bringing tonight's live action here at Spa, and we will see you next week. I believe we're going to Sebring, and that race is going to be a little bit wet.